So I'm wondering something about humanity, and I'm also wondering about ants and various other creatures. What I'm wondering is how significant is humanity as species go in the universe? I'm wondering if humanity amounts to much in the scheme of things compared to other creatures that are surely out there. What led me to think about this is to wonder about an ant's nest. So when we look at an ant's nest, what do we think about it? We don't see it as particularly complex. We see it as just a bunch of ants doing their thing and don't pay it much attention really. It's just an ant's nest and they get on with it. And I'm wondering if some other entities might look at Earth in the same way. Would they regard us as just unimportant and we don't amount to much and we're just doing our thing on the earth? So I'm wondering on how complex humans are compared to how complex entities can get. In other words, do humans amount to much in the scheme of things in the universe? And I'm wondering what an ant thinks. So if there's an ant in an ant's nest and there are 100,000 ants in this ant's nest, what does an ant think? What is it like to be inside the mind of an ant? To what extent does it think? How complex are its thoughts? Or are its thoughts just about food and moving around? I'm just wondering what an ant thinks about the world around it and to what extent it thinks at all. And it's really hard to judge these things. I have no idea what an ant thinks as it's doing its thing. And I'm wondering if some other entities would look at humans in the same way. Would they look at us and think that we don't amount to much? And we probably don't think very much. And would they look at us as if we were insignificant? So I'm wondering basically where humanity fits in the scheme of things in order of importance and knowledge. I mean, are we significant or are we the equivalent of an ant's nest in the scheme of things? It's very hard to know how we might compare to other entities that are surely out there. So I'm wondering if humanity is the equivalent of an ant's nest in the scheme of things, or are we more significant than that? I don't know how to judge such a thing. And for all I know, what we see as the universe is just some kind of cage that we're in. We think it's infinite, but really it's just limited, but we just don't have the capacity to appreciate the size of it. It's very frustrating that none of these things seem to be answered. There's no way of knowing where humanity stands in the scheme of the universe. So I don't know if humanity amounts to much or I'll be the equivalent of an ant's nest. I wish there was an answer, but I doubt that there is one.